Hello and welcome to UMAi Dry. Today we're going to show you how we used UMAi Dry to make a kind of cold smoked cured salmon. Now the first thing we did was to cure the salmon. We mixed up a big batch of the cure with sugar, salt, Montreal Seasoning, and freshly ground black pepper. And after we mixed up this big batch of cure, we applied it to the fish. Now we had been told that it was a good idea to use 50% the weight of the fish in cure. That seemed like an awful lot compared to when you make other charcuterie, for example. So we decided to do an experiment where we made 4 pieces of fish of equal weights and 4 batches of cure with weights equivalent to 50% the weight of the fish, 25%, 10%, and finally here 5% the weight of the fish. In all cases, we ensured that the piece of fish was well coated with the salt. In the case of the 5 and 10%, there was less salt, so we simply rubbed it on very well and put it into the Ziploc bag. And then each of the pieces of fish also got 2 teaspoons of a high-quality liquid smoke, so that during the curing period, they were also taking on a very nice, light, cold smoked aroma. Now the 5 and 10% we cured only as long as it took for them to absorb all of the salt. 5% was actually only 2 or 3 days, and we took it out and started drying it. 10% was about 4 days, and the 25 and 50% salt, or cured to weight of fish, were cured for 1 full week, and you can see how firm they became. Now we weighed all 4 pieces before we bagged them up to dry, just to kind of see how much weight they had lost during curing. And then we put them each into a 10 by 11 inch small charcuterie UMAi Dry bag. We crimped the top so that there's some nice creases for air to flow through, and inserted the VacMouse vacuum aid strip so that the air could be drawn out with the vacuum sealer. Now, the curing will protect the fish. The drying is what gives it a really rich flavor and almost that prosciutto-like quality. So we put all 4 pieces of fish onto open wire racks in a modern frost-free refrigerator and allowed them to dry for between 10 and 14 days. Now, as you can see during the slicing here, the texture of all 4 pieces of meat, pieces of fish that is, was significantly different. We would recommend doing either the 25 or 50% cure to weight of fish for reasons of safety, obviously. The 25 actually was a really delicious amount of saltiness, and the 50%, interestingly enough, was less salty, probably because most of the salt never dissolved into the fish and was left in the curing bag. This was a really wonderful experiment with UMAi Dry, and we hope you'll give it a try. It was delicious with some nice red wine. Thanks for joining us.